Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're good, hope you're well. So last week I posted a video and I'm not gonna lie, I thought that video was gonna be like one of my worst performing videos. Just because I was basically just brain dumping on you all and I wasn't really giving any encouragement, which is what I like to do in all my videos. So I did think, you know what, I'm just putting this video out because it's how I feel. Hopefully I can get some advice, and I wasn't expecting it to do numbers, but gosh golly me, my gosh golly. Wow, yeah, you guys came through with the advice, so I really appreciate it. Like, I didn't actually expect, I know I asked for advice, but I didn't expect you guys to come that hard. Like, one of my most recent comments even said, damn, you've got some smart subscribers. I said, yeah, I do. I do. Because the advice was like, it just wasn't basic, basically. It was like really good advice. And so I'm going to take your advice because like, I never expected it, but you guys came through. So thank you very much. But where do we go from here? My default next step always is to just try and take on every single piece of advice like instantly and try to implement everything instantly. But I had to quickly remind myself that that would be a hot mess and I'm not going to do that. One, because the sheer amount, like the number of different bits of advice that I got, and it's just not manageable to try and implement so many different changes in your life all at the same time, which is also the advice you gave me. So I'm listening. Why did I point out my head? I'm listening and I'm thinking. So instead, right now, I'm just in the process of digesting it. That's all. I read it, and before my anxiety flares up and be like, oh, okay, what's the next step? How do I do this? I'm just reading it, I'm just digesting it, and I'm just savoring it. I've started replying. I'm sorry I haven't got around to them all because there's so many, but I'm just digesting it. But what I'm going to do in this video, someone did request this and I was going to do it anyway, is I'm going to read out some of them and I'm just going to kind of talk through my thought process. I imagine if you went through the comments, you might have seen these already, but I think it can be helpful because it seems like, along with the advice, a lot of people were saying that they were feeling the same thing and that I was in their head, and I was like, oh my gosh, like there's so many of us going through the same sort of funk. So I'm going to read some of them out. I'm going to talk about my thoughts and then I'm going to wrap up and talk about next steps. Okay, so first up, from Amateur Astronomer, we have, oh, I don't have my glasses on. As someone who has had to learn very quickly how to make more disciplined decisions as a result of my career choice, here's what I think. Your goals and aspirations seem a bit too general. Try be more detailed with what you want to do and start off small. Tasks that take 15 minutes or less. Instead of saying, tomorrow I read my Bible, try, tomorrow I'll read 3 verses from my Bible. Just 3 and ponder on them a bit. Instead of tomorrow I'll eat healthy and move my body, try tomorrow I'll try to incorporate a vegetable or fruit in every meal and go for a 7-minute jog. Just 1 veggie or fruit and just 7 minutes. When you go from general to specific, your mind has more of an idea of what to expect and what to do. When you start small, you are more likely to complete a task, and completing any task builds momentum to complete future tasks. I think in society we're always taught to work harder when it's about working smarter and working with the funk, not focusing on trying to get out of the funk, because that is not our control. Also, try incorporating a to-do list to organize your daily goals and feel the satisfaction of checking something off the list. Similar sentiment from Roma Coco. Some tips that may help. Be more specific. Instead of saying, I'll eat better tomorrow, say, my dinner tomorrow will be mainly plant-based. Maybe even choose the exact recipe the night before. Instead of, I'll read my Bible, say, as soon as I wake up, I'll read 5 minutes of Psalms. Remove sticking points. This is a second piece of advice. For example, keep your Bible in your nightstand so you see it when you wake up. Habit stacking can also be helpful. Attach some new activity that you want to make a habit to something you already do. Look it up for more details. Starting small and simple is easy to get overwhelmed trying to change your entire life overnight. Good luck. Similar sentiment from somebody called C. Hudson. Start small. If you try fixing everything at once, it can be overwhelming. So maybe setting one small goal a day. For example, Monday, eat at least 1 fruit/vegetable. Tuesday, walk outside, even if it's just around the block. Wednesday, Bible study for at least 10 minutes and set a timeout. I hope this helps. It does help. Okay, so similar kind of, you get the vibe. Basically, I'm being too general and I'm overwhelming myself and I'm not being specific enough, therefore my brain doesn't, it's just not sticking, it's not sustainable. So Yes, I 100% agree with your critique of, it wasn't a critique, but the fact that I am making my goals way, way too general. And listen, I don't even want to put this in the video because Keith has been telling me that I need to be more specific and more detailed. He's like a detailed, granular robot, basically. And I just don't want to hear I told you so, because I've not been listening to Keith, but I'm going to listen to my subscribers for some odd reason. So it's true, I need to be more specific with everything. I low-key think that me being like broad and general and not specific is like my way of avoiding commitment, and therefore in my head avoiding like this anxiety that comes with like committing to stuff, and then like avoiding the pressure that comes with it. But actually, in reality, being general and not specific does the exact opposite. LMAO! What a revelation I just had on camera. It does the exact opposite. Can somebody say self-sabotage? Another piece of advice from somebody called Happy Day. I'm also in a funk. I'm sorry. It's been this way for a few weeks now. Just a feeling of being overwhelmed with life and decisions. I feel that. I noticed that I feel a bit better since cleaning the physical clutter in my basement and backyard. It seems to have cleared some clutter that I have had mentally as well. This one made me laugh because if you could see my house right now, it is 100% a reflection of my head. A mess. And I know that tidying it up I know that it will free up some of the clutter that's also in my mind. I just haven't done it. But that's on the agenda this weekend. Clean the damn, not even clean, it's clean. Tidy the damn house. Next one, a screenshot from Stephanie Annie. Little drops make an ocean. Beautiful. It usually feels like we should be giving 100% every time. But to be honest, 5% is good enough. So as long as it's done consistently. Thank you for this, Stephanie, because I can't give 100%. I've never been able to give 100%, and yet I keep on expecting 100% of myself. But no, I'm freeing myself of the shackles today. You heard it here first. So thank you. 100% taking that advice. And I very much had similar comments around like putting too much pressure, trying to do 100%. 100%, I hear you loud and clear. No more. From Shelby P. Gut health is connected to mental health. It's so hard to eat right when you're in a funk, but that's the key to putting yourself out. Physical endurance is connected to mental endurance for me. So when I weight lift at my workout classes, the physical pain also makes me mentally stronger. This one, I've been knowing. But like my girl Shelby said, it's so hard to eat right in a funk. But I can't wait to get out of the funk to start eating right, because although it's a cycle, like one affects the other. Like you guys been saying, the funk I can't really control. The eating better I can control. And so I just have to exercise some discipline in that area and just do it. Ugh, it feels like that really relatable verse in Romans 7 where the Apostle Paul is saying like, for I don't understand my own actions because I do what I do not want to do, and I do not do what I want to do instead of the thing. You know that verse? I relate, brother Paul. It is like that. It's like, you know what you need to do. I know I need to eat right. I know the kind of foods that make me feel better versus the ones that don't, but I don't do it. So nothing but discipline is going to get me there. Removing some barriers, which someone in another comment said something similar. I'm going to remove a barrier. One barrier I've already removed, is I struggled. I've got a gym membership. I've been having a gym membership. The gym, if you saw how close it was to my house, you would be embarrassed for me. Anyways, willpower is not getting me there. So I got a PT, okay? I got a PT. My PT lives across the road from me. There is no escaping it, him, this life. And now I'm not just gonna not turn up, isn't it? So I'm just putting stuff in place to make me do it even when I don't want to do it, because when I don't want to do it is 99.9, 100% of the time. So yeah, taking that on board, and of course I feel better after I work out. Who doesn't? Discipline, removing barriers. And I will share one more comment, which is a nice way to end, because for me, anyways, let me read it to you. It is from Leonie Poshai. I hope I pronounced that all right, darling. I'd recommend making spiritual health your main priority in your glow up process, not only because of God, lol, but I find that when I've had some time to reflect on the reality of God, either in prayer or Bible study, I just feel more energized to take charge of my life and do those things that I think amount to a good life. It gives me a good balance of it's not that serious, but also I want to do it. I agree with this one so much. For me, as a Christian, being that Christ is the center of my life, he's the center of everything, and he's the most important thing in my life, my spiritual health has to be number one. Like, I shouldn't even, in my opinion, rank them equal. They're not. My spiritual health, my relationship with God is number one, and everything else flows from that. Greg McKeown, the author of a book called Essentialism, which I haven't read, but I listened to a podcast and he said this. I'm going to play the clip.
One of the ideas that has been powerful to me spiritually is that I can either work hard with the world or easy with the Lord. It's the idea that I can struggle and do it, take a life which I think is inherently hard and make it harder on my own, being limited in my perspective, or I can join with, the most powerful force in the world.
Listen, like, why am I acting like I have to do this alone when I can literally partner up with the Almighty? So that honestly has to be number one. The main thing I love about your advice that you've been giving me is that it's all so simple. That was definitely the reoccurring theme in all of the advice, was that it was so simple. Nobody that was giving good advice was encouraging me to overcomplicate things, which is where I've been going wrong. A common mistake or trap that I've been guilty of falling into is the subconscious belief that hard equals good and that easy equals bad. But that podcast that I just referenced, that was the Art of Manliness podcast, and the guest was Greg McKeown, the author of Essentialism, and the episode was called How to Make Your Life More Effortless. And Greg McKeown argues basically that it's not just about figuring out what's essential in your life, it's also about making those essential things easier, which is not something we're taught often. We're taught hard is good. If it was hard to get there, and sometimes it's true. Sometimes easy does equal bad in some cases, but not always. And doing something the hard way doesn't actually mean you're doing it the best or most efficient way. You actually might just be being dumb. So that's what I love about the advice, is that all in all, in a nutshell, the common theme that I saw pop up was that y'all are telling me to not overcomplicate things, and I appreciate that. Anyway, thank you so much. Let's keep talking in the comments, because y'all are smarter than me and I'm gonna try to soak up all that knowledge. So I really appreciate it. I am gonna try and figure out a way to document this process, because I know some people have asked, and I will take you on. I'm not just gonna take your advice on bolt. I will figure out a way to document this. I will be back to, my think pieces and my encouragements. Don't worry, they ain't going nowhere. I'm not like having a midlife crisis. They will be back, of course, but thanks for helping me ride this funk. Really do appreciate every single one of you. Like, I'm actually so grateful. Anyways, I have also been thinking about how we can take this conversation off YouTube to a platform that's maybe better suited for discourse. Like discourse? Wait, is it called discourse or Discord? You know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna figure that out. I know some people have asked and some people have given suggestions too, so I appreciate you. And yeah, as always, like, comment and subscribe. If you don't know what the heck I'm talking about, then you need to check out my recent video. And keep the comments coming. I love hearing what you guys have to say. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.